Happy Wednesday. We are going to go over another reading lesson. This time we're going to teach a brand new word. The word is play, and we're reviewing the sight word has. Today it is April 22nd, 2020, and you do not need any paper for this. All you have to do is listen. Thank you. On this slide, we're introducing the new high-frequency word or sight word play. If you look on the left-hand side of the slide, you will see the word play. We will spell it together and then say it. So point to the P. Let's spell it with me. P-L-A-Y, play. Let's try again. Point to the big card that has the letters on it. And spell it together and then say the word. P-L-A-Y, play. You also will see another word play, but it's a lot smaller. We'll spell it again. P-L-A-Y, play. When you say play, you hear the P, and A, and the Y is silent. You do not hear the Y. You know how in the other words we talked about, sometimes you don't hear the E? Well, sometimes if you have words that have a Y at the end, you don't always hear the Y. So in this one word, you just hear the P, the L, and the A makes its name, A. Now, let's go. In the picture, we see a boy and a girl that like to play soccer. Looks like they have a soccer ball. So again, I use play in a sentence. Look to the right of the picture and you can see some sentences with the word play in it. We're going to read the sentences together and I'm going to underline the words that we know. It looks like in the first sentence we know all the words. Let's point to the word I and let's begin together. It goes, I can play too. Now let's go back and read again. We point at I and remember to move your finger as we say different words. I can play too. Now, play is our new word, P-L-A-Y. Let's spell it with me, P-L-A-Y. And the word too is a pretty new word also. That's at the end of the sentence. Remember that too means also. Now let's go to the next sentence. The first word is a brand new word that we do not know. It's somebody's name. So I'm going to circle it. And we're going to sound out each letter. First of all, the J goes J. The I usually goes I because it does not end with an E. If it ended with an E, it would go I. But there's no E at the end. So let's go J. Let's say it sound and stretch it out. Jim. Jim. Jim is a boy's name. So now we're going to continue reading. I'm going to underline each other word that we know. First, let's go back to the word Jim. Point to it and let's read. Jim can play with me. Can play with me are words you should know already. If you don't, continue practicing them at home. And now look at our sentence below that. Okay? All of those are sight words. So I'm going to underline each word as we read them. Let's point to the word I, and we are going to read this together. Ready? I'm going to underline each word again as we read. Point to the word I and let's begin together. Ready? Let's go. I want to play. And play is our new sight word. If you forgot the word want, please practice it at home. That is one of the harder sight words. Very good job. Now let's go to the last sentence. Each of those words we should know also. Please point to the W word. That is the word what. And again, we're going to underline each word as we read them. Let's start with what? You ready? Let's begin. What can we play? And unfortunately, I erased that word by accident, but I fixed it. So let's go back to the beginning of that sentence and read it once more. Point to each word as you're reading. What can we play? Good job. Remember, play is our new word, Play, and we use it in a lot of sentences that we say. We also see it in a lot of books that we read, and we will write it in a lot of the stories we write. Then in a minute, we're going to the next page. On this slide, we are reviewing the word has, and we are going to read sentences that has the word has in it. First of all, let's look at the picture on our left. We have seen this picture before. We have the word has twice on this side. One is on a big card, and the letters are bigger. Let's point to the H on that one card. And then let's say the names of the letters together and then say the word that it spells. Ready? Point at the H. Let's begin. H-A-S, has. Let's try it one more time. Point to the H. Let's begin. H-A-S, has. You also will see the word has, but in smaller letters. Let's spell it again. H-A-S, has. And in that picture, if you remember, the boy has a picture of a turtle. Excuse me, the boy has a turtle in his hand. He doesn't have a picture of it. He has the turtle in his hand. Now let's look at the sentences to the right of that. Remember, a sentence is something that makes sense, begins with a capital letter, ends with a period or question mark. A telling sentence ends with a period. An asking question ends with a question mark. An excited sentence ends with an exclamation mark. Looks like all of these are telling sentences. Let's begin with the top sentence. Let's point to the word she. Now, I'm going to underline each word that we know as we read it. If we come to a word we don't know, I will circle it and we will sound it out. So can I have everyone point to the word she? You ready? On the very top. Let's begin. She has a... This word we don't know. Some of you may know it, but let's sound it out for those that don't. Now, the D goes duh, the O goes and the G goes ga. The O usually goes unless it's an E at the end. The G usually goes ga. It has two sounds. It goes ga and ja, but most of the time it goes ga. So let's sound it out. Duh, og. Let's do it and stretch out each sound again. Dog. The word is dog. So now let's go to the beginning of the sentence and read it together. Okay, let's read it. It goes, she has a dog. Very good job. Now, let's go to the sentence below that. Point to the word he. Okay, again, I'm going to underline each word that we know, and I'm going to circle the words if we do not know it. You ready? Let's begin. Point to the word he. Let's begin. He has, that's our new word, a, and the next word we do not know. So we are going to circle it. Then let's sound it out. Now remember, it has a G in it, and the G usually goes G. It has an I in the middle of it, and the I usually goes I unless there's an E at the end of it. So let's sound it out. The B goes B, I goes I, G goes G. Now this time let's stretch out each sound. Big, big. So let's go to the beginning and point to the word he, and we're going to read it up through the word big together. Let's begin. He has a big, the last word we also don't know, so I'm going to circle it. And let's sound it out. I see an I in the middle, and I see an E at the end. I have a feeling that the I will set its own name, so let's cross out the E. Give magic juice to the I. So the I will set its own name. But this word has more sounds, so we have to take it carefully. Let's start with the S. The S goes S. The M goes The I goes I. And the L goes L. Let's try it again. I'm going to stretch out each sound. Smile. Smile. That word was harder because it had more sounds in it. Let's go to the beginning of the sentence where it says he, and we read it. Point to it, and let's begin together. You ready? Let's begin. He has a big smile. Very good job. Now we're going to the next sentence. And there's some words we know on that, and there's some words we do not. So, let's point to the word she. Remember, when we have an SH together, it goes sh. So let's begin. You ready? Point as we read. She has a, oh, we come to a word we may not know. So I'm going to circle it. Now, I see an E at the end. An E makes two sounds. It goes eh and E. Now, I don't see an E at the end, so it probably goes eh. Let's try it out. R goes E goes eh, and D goes da. Now let's try it again, stretching out each sound. Red. Red. It's the word red. So let's go to the beginning of the sentence and read it. She has a red. Oh, this word, some of you may know, some of you may not know. So let's sound it out. It has an A in the middle. The A usually goes with ah unless there's an E at the end. So let's try ah. Ready? H goes ha, A goes ah, T goes ta. Now let's stretch out each sound. Hat. Hat. Very good job. Let's go to the beginning of the sentence and read. She has a red hat. Very good job. Now notice all these sentences make sense. Okay? Now we're going to the last sentence. Now we're going to underline each word we know and stop if there's a word we do not know. Let's all point to the word he. Let's begin. It is he. Oops, I accidentally used a red to underline it. Let's try again. He. Oops, still did it. I need to erase it. Oh boy, I'm really messing up. Now I'm taking a black and let's try. He has. Oh, this word we do not know either. So let's circle it. Let's sound it out. It has an I in the middle. The I, she goes I unless we have an E at the end. So let's try I. The H goes ha. I goes I. S goes s. Let's take each sound and stretch it out. Is. His. So let's read from the beginning. He has his. Oh, the next word we see in the sentence above it, but you might have forgotten it. So I'm going to circle it and we're going to sound it out. Again, it has an E in the middle and no E at the end, so the E probably goes eh. Let's try it out. Ed. Now let's stretch out each sound. Red. Red. And that was in the sentence before. Let's read it. Start at the word he again. Point to each word as we read. He has his red. Uh-oh, and we came to another word that we do not know. So let's circle it. Now, my picture on my screen is covering all that word. It should be B-I-G-G. I-K-E. And it has an E at the end. So if I could see it, I'd cross out the X and give the magic juice to the I, which I can see. So the I will make it sound. So it goes ba-ike, ba-ike, bike. Now I go to the beginning of the sentence and read it. Point to the word he. Remember to move your finger as we're reading. Ready? Let's begin. He has his red bike. Very good job. Now, in a minute, we're going to the next page. And the next page, we're going to practice writing a sentence together. Thank you. On this slide, I'd like to show you how we write a sentence. Now, we write it when this sentence says, I like to play games with my dad. But I'm going over the punctuation, about how leaving spaces, and if you use upper and lowercase letters. Okay, first off, look at the very beginning. That's the word I. Now, I know that looks like a lowercase l, but in this machine, this computer, I could just make only that kind of I. That's a capital I. It's not a lowercase I because the lowercase I is down and a dot, down and dot, and that's capital I. Sometimes when you see I in books, it does not have a line across the top and the bottom. That's this I. Okay? Then between that and the next word, you leave your space. Now you can put your finger between I and the next word. And the next word is like. And you know how to write like. So you would write L-I-K-E. And I'm going to show you. You'd write L-I-K-E, right? And then you leave space again. Don't forget to use space between words. And you would write T-O. You know the word two. So far it goes, I like two. Two is T and O. I like two. Then you need to use space again between the two and the next word, which is play. Because you want to write, I like to play. So play is P-L-A-Y. But remember, when you hear play, you do not hear the Y. You just hear the P, the P, the L, and the A makes the A sound. The Y is quiet, like sometimes E is quiet at the end of a few words. The next word is the word games, but before we write that word games, we left a space again. Now, games begins with a G that goes G. It goes G and it goes G, A. The A makes a loud noise. It makes a long vowel sound. That's because we have an E towards the end. We have G-A-M-E-S. Now, the S is actually at the end, but that's just because it's more than one game. So you take the E, you cross out the E, give its magic power to the A. It goes G, and then it goes S because it's more than one game. If it was just game and I covered the S, it would be G, A, M, and that would be game. But I added an S at the end. So it's G, M. So far, my story says I like to play games. And my next word is with. But before I write with, I have to leave space. We know with. That's one of the words we practiced. W-I-T-H is with. If you forgot the word with, you need to practice it. Now, I ran out of space on my slide. So I have to go to the next line to write the word my. I wrote my underneath the word I. Remember, we know how to spell my. It's M-Y. I did not start with a capital M because I'm not done with my sentence. So far, let's read from the beginning. I like to play games with the last word is dad. I have to leave space before the word dad. Now, may not know how to spell dad, so I have to sound it out. Dad. Da. Oh, I think that's a D. So I know I need to write a D. Ah. Oh, I know that is an A. Now, da. Oh, I know that's another D. So I write another D. D-A-D spells dad. Now I go back to read the sentence. I go, I like to play games with my dad. Now, does that make sense? Yes, it does. Is it a telling sentence or an asking sentence? It's a telling sentence. I'm telling you something. So don't forget to put that period at the end because it's a telling sentence. Now, first I go back and make sure. Okay, did I begin my sentence with a capital? I did. Did I end it with a period? I did. Did I leave spaces between each word? I did. Did I put a period or question mark at the end, depending upon what kind of sentence it was? And I did. And then, of course, if you were doing this at home, you could draw a picture that would make sense. Now, if it says, I like to play games with my dad, what do you think you'd draw? You'd probably draw a picture of you playing a game with your dad. But you don't have to write this on any piece of paper or draw a picture. I just want to remind you how you need to write sentences. That you begin each sentence with a capital letter, you end it with a period, a question mark, or an excited mark, and you need to leave spaces between each sentence. Now, if you'd like to copy this sentence on a piece of paper, you are more than welcome to. But please remember to start with capital I. Please remember to leave spaces between each word. And please remember to do a period at the end of your sentence. And of course, you may draw a picture using your crayons and pencil that go with the picture. Thank you very much for listening to this lesson. We will have another reading lesson on Thursday. Bye.